What it do, what the business is.
It is another week in the books. It's the OndeckTV podcast. I am Spike Lou.
Man, holla at your boy Animal Brown, Animal_Brown if you're looking for me on social.
I am Spike Lou on all your favorite social media sites.
Producer, what's goody?
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mxtra Money, a.k.a. DJ Ethan, a.k.a. Bishop, because I got the juice.
Oh, my God.
Yes, sir.
That's
Let's go. Shout out to Bird.
No. Shout out to Bird, but that was terrible. We have a special guest in the building. Please, Miss Kirsten, can you introduce yourself?
I know, still turned up from those AKAs. She's disgusting.
She loves it.
It caught me off guard.
It caught all of us off guard every week.
We're keep you on your toes.
No.
I'm Kirsten, KD, as some call me.
What up, KD?
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for sitting in with us.
We're excited. We're going to have you sit in on a couple of topics first, and then we're going to get to you as the main topic. What manager, entertainment mogul? What are we calling yourself?
Creative.
Nice.
Okay.
What are the kids saying these days?
Kids
Multi-hyphenate. I would suggest that I am probably that. It's a lot of different things. Some of them related, others not, but I do them all.
Nice.
Talk about it.
I know that's right. Lou, what you have on deck for the weekend, sir?
I went to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Trash.
It was not trash. It was 2 hours and 34 minutes, so do not go at night.
Of trash.
Great film.
Wow.
I don't know if it was a great film. What I will say is one of those movies that you got to do research for. So if you're one of those type of people that enjoy doing research for movies, then you'll enjoy this. He held on to the anticipation of something's about to happen the whole movie.
And then nothing happened.
It did.
Okay.
And it was surprising. I'll say that. So I liked it. I liked it. It was a cool outing by Tarantino. What did you have?
Man, shout out to the Black Pod Collective. Had a nice panel on Friday. It was super dope. Shout out to everybody that was on the panel. Vince from the Wild Black podcast, as well as Kiki.
Wild Black.
Wild Black. That's what I said.
You said Wild Black.
That's my Cashville accent. Also, shout out to Kiki from the Cocktails podcast. Yes. It was super dope. Shout out to everybody that came out. Lou was there.
Yeah, it was a great time. They put on a nice event. The venue was dope on Peter Street. There's a community center that they said they're going to open up in August.
That's
so
killer.
Y'all be on the lookout for that. That was a dope space, a dope time. Good information. I liked it.
All of that. Shout out to my guy Derb. Shout out to my girl Q. Shout out to everybody that came except Mxtra. He was the only one that didn't show up.
Crickets.
What did you have on deck for the weekend, sir?
He was busy.
Yeah, I had prior engagement.
Yes. Okay.
On the show, he said, I'll be there.
Exactly.
Yeah, things happen.
The prior engagements, though.
Yeah, prior to that day. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you very
prior
much.
to that day. Yeah, money moves don't stop. You have to take those, as you can appreciate, Animal Brown.
I can respect that.
But yeah, shout out to Kiki. I need to be a guest on that podcast for sure.
That's not true.
But yeah, I had a few things. Shout out to Carrie, Dub. I see your boy. What else I do? I just chill with the fam. Went out with my brother and little sister on Saturday. Hung out with them. So yeah.
Real quick, I went to that Mozzie show with my guy Derb on Sunday. I'm not gonna lie. Early on, I was scared. At 8 o'clock when it was supposed to start, it was about 12 people there.
Ain't nobody listening to Mozzie showing up at 8.
Clearly,
Never.
except my dumb ass. Now
Y'all
at
don't
about
listen to Mozzie.
9:30, that's when it started to fill up.
Yeah.
And he actually did a good show. What surprised me though, real quick, was his opening acts though. Bro, he had 4 opening acts and they were all fire. When has that ever happened in life?
Where were they from, you know?
They were all over the place. There was one dude named All Black from LA. He's on that G-Eazy remix. And then there was a dude from New York called Brody Fresh. He was tough.
Oh, Brody was
I heard
there.
of Brody Fresh before.
Yeah, he nice though. Like he had some shit. So I was kind of surprised. You never know what you're gonna get when you get there early in the opening acts.
Where was it?
Center stage, right?
Center stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough.
So
but
you
it was
stood up for about you stood up for about a good 5 hours, huh?
Nah, about 2. I had on comfortable shoes.
Is that where the Locks thing was at?
No, not that. So all right, enough of our weekends. Now let's get to these topics because Kirsten is dying to talk about a couple of these. I know she is. Let's get to the first things first. Now we had a few new releases from different ends of the spectrum this weekend. We had 2 debut albums, one from Chance the Rapper, the other from YBN Cordae, The Big Day, and The Lost Boy, respectively. We also had E40 drop his 28th album, Practice Makes Paper. Between the rookies and the vet, Lou, who won the weekend?
YBN Cordae won the weekend hands down.
Easily.
I think Chance, everybody was waiting on Chance's album. He had the backlash because it came out a little later than people expected. I didn't listen to it as soon as it dropped. As to the YBN, I was waiting on that, and I was pleasantly surprised, even though I was anticipating it. It was even better than I thought it was going to be. And I say that to say I played it in a barbershop when I went to go get my hair cut. After like 18 bars, who is that, man? Who is that? Everybody asking who it is. Everywhere that I took this and played this, listening to it, people were asking about it, downloaded. I was at the podcast collective with you.
Yep.
I was talking to my man Vince. He downloaded right there on the spot. He texted me, said it was dope. YBN won the weekend walking away. And I think I would go into Chance, them trying to mask this as a debut album. I think that's what kind of took away from it, because people over the whole Chance Shuck. I'm gonna say what it is. The music was cool. The music was cool, decent. Shuck, I mean, like the whole gig. Like, people know he's not a debut artist. They know he's really not independent. He has a lot of backing behind him, people would say. So I just feel like people are kind of over the whole Chance story. That's why he wasn't as big, or he didn't hit as hard this weekend. And E40 gonna do what E40 does.
I see, and you lead right to my point. E40 won the weekend, bro. 28th album. He's 51 years old.
You've been doing your Skip Bayless the last couple of weeks. Let him cook. Let him
Have
get
y'all
this
listened
off,
to that
please.
E40?
Let him get this off.
Everybody, first
Let
of
him
all,
explain this.
I wasn't even going to listen to that E40 until 3 and 4 or 5 people hit me up and said, bro, that E40 bang.
It had some bops, I ain't gonna lie.
I said, yo, I'll listen to it eventually. Because, again, I wasn't checking for it. I ran the YBN Corday. It did exactly what I knew it would do. He's a dope young artist, 21 years old.
You were expecting an album this good from him?
I was. I said that on the show last week, if you were listening. I said I was super excited to hear what he had to say, because I knew he was one of the few 21 and under quote unquote lyricists out here. So I was curious to see what he would say from his perspective. After listening to it, it gave me young J. Cole vibes. Like where J. Cole is at right now in terms of like content, that's the type of music that Corday gave me, and his album was fire.
That's a good analysis.
I know it was great. Chance's shit is trash though. Listen, it's crazy when I listen to the E40.
You just don't like Chance.
Yeah, I don't.
So say you're not a Chance fan. Don't call his album, because he got good music on that album.
No, he doesn't.
Yes.
Look,
Don't do that.
no, listen. I listened to E40 50 songs on his album, and it felt like 15. I listened to Chance's 22, and at 13, I was ready to kill myself.
What year did it feel like when you listened to it? I'm just curious. What year was it? 2001?
Like present day, which was that's what was so shocking about it.
This is only because you're late to the party though. E40 been doing this. Like he didn't make any different waves with this album than he did the last 20 seconds.
I can't believe E40 is dominating this conversation.
He won the weekend.
Either.
He dropped his 28th album. So, but what I will say, I was expecting big things from YBN too, but this album even surpassed that. So to say, it was cool, it did what I expected to do. That's dismissing his album. That album is probably one of it's gonna go when we talk about albums of like not generation, but the last 10 years. You're gonna talk about this album because he told his story in a way where like, y'all know I can rap, but I'm gonna show y'all that I'm as creative as everybody else. And I think the Cole comparison is surface level because I could see it, but I think he took from a lot of other people as well. I hear some young Lil Wayne in there. I hear a lot of different rappers that poured into what YBN is, and I think that's why it's so special.
Well, you definitely can hear the Cole influence, for sure. But it was definitely a pleasant surprise, like you said. I thought he's a good rapper, but I didn't think he had this in him. For him to be young, this is the best project of the week by far, and it's not even close. I played it back to back to back. Chance wasn't trash. Chance album was too long, number one.
Yeah.
And he was all over the place. I don't know what he was trying to take. I don't know what the big day is.
Me neither.
So I don't know where he was trying to take us.
His wedding.
Yeah, he's talking about love and his wedding. Yeah, he's talking about being
he only talked about
in
it in a few
general.
songs.
No.
He's talking about loving his wife the whole. Like he's talking about growing as a man, loving his wife, and just not being the typical rapper. Yeah, every song he says that.
I was thrown off a lot.
Y'all, I think y'all kind of don't like Chance, so y'all over the.
I love Coloring Book.
This ain't Coloring Book. Though.
I know it's not.
That's what I'm so.
And
so
Coloring was way better than this.
There was more. There was more laced in the Coloring Book to make it acceptable to the masses. This right here was Chance. I feel like it was just him telling, hey, people, I'm in love. I'm not trying to be the atypical rapper. I want to see, will this work? Me talking about strictly what I want to talk about. And
the problem is that he has so much pressure on him to be. There was so much hype around him coming out.
For sure.
Let's be clear. can't nobody keep that hype up all throughout these many years. And he's let so much time pass by to where our palette for music has changed and our expectation of him is the same. So for that reason, we're not going to allow him to evolve as an artist because there's so much pressure and expectation for him to be exactly what he was when we actually were impressed by him. Now we have millions of other people that are rapping like Chance, and there's nothing too special about it except for the fact that he's Chance.
Were people gassing him too early then? Were they crowning him too soon?
Well, there were parts of his story that were worthy of being celebrated. And again, like as time what year was that? As time has progressed, everybody has similar stories. I mean, him being independent as we know
Air quote.
Yeah, I mean, him being independent as we know it. Him and his father, like we knew about his whole life story. His father being a politician and his brother coming out as homosexual, bisexual. So it's so many things that allowed you to fall in love with who he was or who he is, that from a musical perspective, we were like, okay, yeah, we really like you. And we like how you just kind of came out here with some dope ass music.
Right.
But more than likely, that first album pressure ain't gonna never last.
Do you believe in the term industry plant? Is that a thing?
Now, you think Chance is it?
No, I'm just asking.
It's a thing.
Okay, so it is a thing. All right. I'm not going to say Chance is or isn't. I just want to know if it's a thing or not.
Well, I mean, the album is not trash. I didn't say it was trash.
Bruh.
The song with the baby,
hard.
banging.
Of course.
Banger.
Song with
Hot
Megan.
Shower.
The song with Megan is hard.
The song
Megan's hard.
Handsome with Megan.
But that's my thing. The
The
features are the highlight of this album.
I like that,
The song
house music
ROO, that's banging. Rule, whatever he's saying right there. I
It's
like
Rule.
that. I don't know.
So y'all named 3 so far out
5-year
of 20.
plan, get a
Oh,
bag.
shout out to Nicki Minaj. Nicki killed hers.
I don't know about that. And
She
Zanies and
definitely
Fools,
killed
I
her.
like that too.
Yeah, that's Nicki. She killed hers.
Bruh,
I
to
like
be
All Day
waiting
Long.
3-4 years off of an alleged classic mixtape. He got Kanye on
That
his
was a
nuts.
classic
and-
mixtape.
See? To get this after that?
Coloring Book was better than this. No cap.
But this is forgettable.
No rap cap.
Y'all not double back into this.
No, you're right about that.
anytime
I'm definitely
soon.
not. I'm double back in this.
But the album was it was tough to make it through, bro. I didn't know what he was trying to do.
And on one song, they yelling at the end. Like, what the hell is going on? I was like,
I don't know what y'all will.
you didn't hear that song?
I
You weren't
heard.
confused when that happened?
You let me finish. You hear what I'm about to say. I don't know what y'all were listening for when y'all were listening to Chance. This is exactly what I expected out of him, and that's why I think
Same.
it's a good album.
Same.
And I think
So it's a good album.
different to what you guys say. I do think that it'll play longer. Like they got longevity to it. Like this is shit people gonna be playing for a long time. This is like corporate hip hop.
This
They're gonna be
festival
playing this at
music.
I
barbecues,
can see
festivals, work functions, and all of that. So I think this album is going to probably have more spins and give him a longer run than Coloring Book did.
It's definitely gonna have spins. That's not a question. But I'm talking
More
about
than Coloring Book.
as a complete project. It's too long. And it's
don't
all
think
over.
so.
You can't
I
say
don't
that.
think so.
You
Yeah.
can't say that.
think it's too
But
long.
everybody's putting out long albums now. Look at Chris Brown. He puts out a
That's
70.
too long, too?
I mean, but
Chris
it's
just put out a long
but
album.
it's what's happening right now.
Crit album was long.
album's long. The
was too
QC
long.
compilations that come
Dreamville
out,
was
they're
long.
long. Dreamville was long.
E40 album was long.
Okay, so everything that comes out, like, just make sure you're not saying it's too long
No.
because that's the standard right
No,
now.
okay. When I say too, so I'm gonna tell you the difference. Biggie put out Life After Death. Had probably about the same amount of
30
songs.
years?
I
No,
mean,
Jesus
a CD.
Christ.
Where do I put a CD?
We're going back 30 years
y'all
for
let
the
me-
reference?
Where
Thanks.
can I
He
put
just said
a
I couldn't
CD?
I can't get mine off. You got yours off.
Not if you're going back
Yes.
30 years,
There's no
bro.
CD player anywhere around
I'm not
here.
okay. My point is, when I say too long, I don't mean necessarily it's a bad thing to have a long album. If y'all let me get to that, it's not a bad thing to have a long album. It's the music is all there. With this album, every song did not need to be on this album. That's what I'm saying. Same thing with Crit. If Crit had 14 songs, if he took 3 or 4 songs out the album, he would have had a perfect album. Because all those songs didn't need to be there.
Yeah, there are some there are some rules and,
I
and
get it.
different things.
You're
that
doing it for
come-
streaming numbers.
Well,
and-
it's like
and-
for streaming, and if you make this amount of songs and these
You hit
amount of
18,
producers
you
and
get
this
this amount of
percentage, so
points,
it's
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
way more than just like
Yeah.
my fans like this, so I got to do this. It's
And-
like nah, like let's do what works best for us business wise. Let's do what works best to us consumer wise.
And that makes sense, but I'm also allowed to voice this.
And the consumer, we're consumers.
We're consumers.
From a business standpoint, let me ask you this then, since you said that. Do you think that this album helped or hurt Chance? Because
Oh,
of
it
the
didn't hurt him
reaction
at
that
all.
you're getting from the Fairweather fans of Chance like these two, do you think that it's going to propel
Chance
him larger?
don't give a fuck about us. Okay.
No, he is
He
super.
got it regardless.
He's
No.
outta here. He's
First of all,
outta here.
in every piece of music that we all talk about here today, ain't none of them people checking for us. We are not their ideal fans. So all we do is talk about our opinion. They don't give a fuck about what we want to know. It's like, okay, so did the white man go and buy his daughter that album on Friday.
Clearly.
Because they're going to buy the full packaging. They're going to buy the album. They're going to buy the vinyl. They're going to buy the T-shirt. They're going to buy VIP passes to the festival and everything else. So, I mean, I just don't think he really cares about us and what our opinions. So as long as the young kids like it, and they don't know better than to not like it.
Right.
So that's how you know it's gonna, it's gonna do what he wanted it to do.
On that note, it's funny because it's just it's all about the demographic, and like she said about Chance and what he put into the album. It doesn't matter, but Chance for sure is gonna have the most popular album this week.
Yeah,
YBN had the best album. Chance had the most popular.
Before they had
like if you go to if you go to like Genius page right now and you go look at all the songs, it's Chance from
Hype Beastie.
Yeah,
Chance has Hype Beastie.
Yeah, I mean,
got
so
fans.
he's the most popular album.
That's fair.
YBN had the best. I just want to know real quick before we leave the topic, while you were going around, did you have your phone without headphones? Because you said everybody heard it while you was playing it. Were you just playing it like and people on your Bluetooth?
The barbershop.
It's the barbershop. You just Bluetooth. I know. You just.
You hooked it up to their Bluetooth.
Yeah, let me play
I thought you were just in the chair with your phone on. Like.
I didn't. That went over my head.
So guys, are you guys not into international music? Because no one mentioned Burna Boy.
No, I heard the album. Excuse me, I heard of him and I saw him on Breakfast Club, but I didn't listen to the album. Do we need to be checking for that?
I listened to a few songs.
You absolutely
that
need
song
to
with Future is banging.
You need to get into these international artists. First of all, that's where Drake Aubrey is pulling a lot of his references from.
For sure.
Lil Tip, even people like Beyonce are pulling a lot of their references from them. So I think that from a musical research perspective, it'll be cool to just check them out. I mean, I know for me, even personally, I ain't gonna sit there and just replay their albums, but it's cool to like get a feel for what they're doing across the water.
Burna Boy, I'm gonna check out Burna Boy, see what he hitting on.
Yeah, people seem to like him. I saw a couple interviews.
He won a Grammy.
Yeah, that's
a BET award. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Dude, that was a big drop off. The
way
Grammy
off.
to the BET award.
Shout out to BET.
I did hear the,
I'm just thinking about what.
Sheesh.
here's the song.
Sorry, guys.
You want to
That was
source
from
award.
Sugar to
Two
Shit,
music
real.
events for the black people. Those are the
That
two.
is true.
Sorry.
Gotcha, that's true.
But I did hear the song with Future and Georgia Smith. I like both of those songs.
Shout out to Burna Boy, man. All right, let's keep it moving. Meek Mill, let's take it to Philly. His win streak continues.
Yes.
He and Jay-Z announced a partnership for his Dream Chasers record label with RocNation. Previously, the record label was housed by Rick Ross's MMG since it was founded in 2012. Now, the Philly rapper is looking to take his label to the next level and expand his roster as he assumes presidency over the label, which will have a team based in NYC. What, if anything, will be different this time around as compared to the Dream Chasers that we've known under MMG?
I just think he'll get more exposure dealing with Jay. He's going to be in a lot more. Meek already has a face that, you've seen him at the Sixers with the owners. He's there with Robert Kraft. So Meek has a face that's starting to be more familiar to mainstream audience. I think pairing with Jay-Z is going to be able to put those young artists that Meek always seems to find, like Snoop, like Roddy, and be able to put them on a much bigger platform. I was listening to an interview with Rick Ross yesterday with It's The Real, and he said something that stood out to me, and he said that this is a win for Maybach Music. And I came on here ready to say Ross lost, and I knew Meek wasn't with him, but the way that Ross handled it and explained it was very dope. And he got away with spinning shit.
He's a storyteller.
But he did say, what my pitch to younger artists now can be is, look what I did for Meek Mill. I prepared him for that platform to be ready to get to that deal with Jay-Z. And I feel like that was a dope-ass perspective to have. And I think that it is a win all the way down from Wale to Meek to Ross, him being able to take what they did at the turn of 2010 and take it now dealing with Jay-Z, being able to put his artists on and being now a boss, as Ross would say. I think it's a big deal for him, and it's gonna provide a lot of opportunities for his Dreamville artists.
Yeah, Dream Chasers. He did say,
You know what's on your mind.
he didn't he didn't mention any particular artists that were going to be on this new
Him?
he didn't mention
the main artist.
Yeah.
Him.
So no mention of Roddy Ricch yet. Not saying that it's not a thing. He just didn't mention. He did say they were actively looking for people. I think it's a win as well. And I like how Ross handled that. He's coming off as someone who doesn't necessarily mind their artists getting bigger or becoming on a bigger stage than him. I heard Wale also on an interview with Cosmic Kev. He said the same thing. He said Ross isn't going to hold you back. Like, the 48 laws of power, never outshine your master. He's not that type of quote unquote boss or whatnot. So I think that's super dope of him. But it's a no brainer for Meek though. When you got Jay on the horn like that, the moves that he's made for him. He's got the documentary coming out in a couple of weeks. The Free Meek joint. Like, he's made hella moves with Jay, and if no offense to Ross, but if my options are let me stay up under Ross or let me link up with Hove, I gotta go with Hove. He the blueprint.
Yeah, and I'm still dealing with Ross too, and I think it's interesting what you say. Ross was also telling the story about dealing with Tony Draper and Suave House prior to, and he said before he went to Slip and Slide, he was given the okay to go. You did your thing, you did your work, and I think it's interesting how that trickles down. He shared the same thing with Meek. Hey, go do what you need to do, be bigger than what it is, as opposed to people that want cash money, and Wayne having a problem with his artists and how that trickles down from how Baby treat him. So I think it has a lot to say with how you're treated as an artist and how you treat your artists too.
Mxtra, how would you see this Dream Chasers Records doing? You think he can make that into something?
Hey, man. Meek winning like the Eagles, baby. You know what's going on, man. Love this. I love this because people counted Meek out.
This is true.
A lot of people I know, too. Shout out to Pete Dixon. A lot of people counted Meek out after the Drake debacle.
Back came.
Yeah, they counted him out. And I'm really happy for him. I hope Roddy Ricch is a part of this because he is fire.
He's talented.
Definitely need him. So yeah, man, shout out to T.I. for getting Meek started though, for real.
That's true. Almost.
Don't you guys ever forget it?
Don't you forget it.
T.I. almost baller blocked his whole career. Yeah. But go ahead.
No, that's not it. That is Animal Brown's perspective.
T.I. gave him a start.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, you didn't know that? Are you just agreeing? I couldn't tell.
Just keep moving.
So a few things. I appreciate Ross for his mentorship and his position as an executive.
Like it's about to go left.
No, it's not. It's not. I promise. For his executive position, because honestly, he's just the more refined version of Gucci in the way that he does it. Gucci embraces all the little niggas that come
for sure,
and want to do something. Gucci embraces them, and that's why he's been able to stay so relevant. And I think Ross, even though he's kind of fallen back a little bit in terms of his visibility, he's always embraced people. He's always held people up. Wasn't he with Ace Hood and I don't know. It's like so many artists that he's worked with. Even tried to bring Teacher Moses back, my favorite.
Love her.
So he's done a lot, and I just don't want his efforts as an executive to ever be looked over. Further to that, the Dream Chasers thing, I think is a really, really good look for Meek. Meek has someone on his team that is a executive and is familiar with the building. It's no secret. She started at RocNation. She's worked at a couple different labels, and now she's back, and she's back with Meek. So I already know, the respect is there for her and what she's about to do. So I know they're about to kill it because she's just a boss-ass bitch, and she's going to make sure that this label does what it's supposed to do. So I'm really excited for her and for what's about to happen with his label because he has real label support. That's
dope. And Meek has an eye for talent, like you said before. Now, look, you can only do but so much being signed under somebody else with your own label trying to get people. So I don't know how seriously he took Dream Chasers up until this point. Nobody was necessarily checking for O'Malley and like his homies like that.
Rightfully so.
But
watch out.
Lil Snoop though, he was hard. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we see what Roddy Ricch doing. So I think getting in them circles and having an eye for talent like Meek has, I think he can turn this to maybe his own MMG. You know what I'm saying? I think the sky is the limit in terms of that because Ross turned MMG. He had a roster. He had a squad. It's a little quiet now. But, you know what I'm saying? I think Meek can do that same thing. And that's super dope. He's been winning this year, man. Meek, early candidate for Person of the Year.
If you guys were young artists and you had the opportunity to sign with OVO, Dreamville, or Dream Chasers,
I'm going Chasers.
You would go with Dream Chasers. Why?
The RocNation connection.
Who would you sign with?
We know where he'd go with.
I'm going to Dreamville.
I would sign with Dreamville.
I respect.
Surprise us, please.
I respect Dreamville, but I really like. I'm such a Jay-Z person. I really like and Meek together. So me as an artist, I would definitely love to be a part of it.
OVO, baby, all day, all day. Let me tell you something. That engine at OVO it ain't nowhere else in any system. They have an engine. I don't damn know. You know what artist they got?
I don't.
OVO?
They only have Majid, Jordan, and Drake. That's all I know.
Don't do Division.
Oh, and I forgot about my homie.
Division?
Party Next Door.
I'm not giving Division.
Don't
I get
they
Party
got
Next Door.
Next Door?
I love Party Next Door. Shout out.
I feel like the
They
kids.
got a
I
lot
feel
of
like
producers and stuff too.
based off what we just seen, all the kids I feel like would go with Dreamville if those were their choices.
And that wouldn't be mad at
Wow.
him.
Jay-Z stronger to our generation.
That's
and
why.
it
Yeah.
helps. But
Even
I feel like
I think
they
Dreamville.
see J. Cole now and they're like,
They got
I'm
Boy
doing that.
Wonder. I'm getting good beats.
Yeah.
They
Beats
got a
fire.
lot of people and
It stopped at Boy Wonder.
yeah, it did. But him. Listen, you gotta always think about what
I was
the
waiting on the
company
second
can
name.
do, not the people in the company. Because the artists that are in the company, a lot of times they're focused on their own albums and their own careers. But OVO has built a well-oiled engine up there, and I would definitely, feel like I could benefit from those
See, that's the
resources.
hardest one for me because if I don't know if I can go play behind Jordan. It's like playing shooting guard for the Bulls in '98. Like
You're not getting the ball
Pete
much.
Myers. Like even if Drake
Pete Myers
takes
was deep.
3-4 years off, you still gonna have to live up to being Drake at OVO. And I just don't. I don't know if any
I'm
artist.
gonna do a
is ready for that.
partnership, and I'm gonna focus on my company.
Right.
I'm not gonna be up under him. Like,
Boss
hey,
up.
hey,
True.
Drake, let me open up for you.
That's true.
Nah,
You got a
I'm
boss
I'ma
mentality.
use-
Some artists though they like to.
I'm gonna use your likeness,
Facts.
to
Facts.
build my own brand.
Yeah.
And
That
real
is
quick
true.
too, you said that Jay may not resonate with the younger crowd as the way it does with us. Corday gave his top 5 rappers. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Oh, he's
was
different.
He said Nas, Big, Pac, Jay, and Big L.
That's why he's so good.
That's why he's so good.
He's a lyricist.
I mean, he had Pusha T on his album. Like,
That shit was hard. too.
And to piggyback off what you said, Lou, as far as Dreamville, as far as younger artists, it's the creativity. I feel
Yeah.
like the young artists like it.
and I strictly said it off the sessions.
Yeah. You can tell they give them free range.
There's so many of them though.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why I
it's
went
deep.
with
Ross,
that.
get
I'm
in
line.
I'm
Yeah, you gotta
I'm
get
gonna
in
go where
line.
it's less crowded.
Yeah.
And OVO is definitely that.
Let's that was cute. Let's get one more topic in before we hit this music break, man, because we want to get to Kirsten and what she's got moving and shaking in this industry. So let's do the double XL. Let's talk the freshman class. The individual freestyles and ciphers are done. They're in the books. The freshman class. If you paid attention, you noticed that one of the members was suspiciously absent from said events. Gunna politely turned down the freestyle and group ciphers that have been customary for artists that have been selected. Do you think it was a smart move for the Drip God to accept the cover but pass on arguably the most popular part, the freestyles?
Absolutely. His style is about being cool, being dripped out, and everything as far as associated with being cool for his brand. So if he gets up there, and even if he takes it seriously and doesn't do well, and he's the subject of memes and gifs online from when he epically failed at this freestyle battle, you're no longer Gunna. Like, you no longer have that cool aspect to you with your music, with your style, with your dress, just because people made fun of you. It may have just been for one day or a couple of hours, but it's still out there. So he did the right thing, in my opinion, because him going to rip a freestyle, it's not bringing him any more fans. Like, people ain't going to be like, man, Gunna can rap. I want to go hear him now, because he's not going to go do that on the album. Freestyling is never what he's going to do as far as giving you bars and impressing you with the lyrics that he gives you in that sense. It's more about style. It's more about cadence, and you can't really get that off in a freestyle. So I think he did absolutely the right thing. There's no way I would put my shit on the line if I was him and already this accomplished to give you niggas something to talk about.
See,
Absolutely
and
not.
that's my issue. If you're not going to do that, then why even accept the class to cover to begin with?
I want to take pictures. I'm fresh.
There have been several people who have been on the cover who have been more about style and cadence and flow than bars.
And they
He
look
was on the
bad.
cover but didn't do the freestyle.
Exactly.
It could have been a scheduling thing, guys.
No, they say he turned it down. Because he was there for the photo shoot. He was there for the concert. He was there for... They said he turned it down, allegedly.
It's like a 3-day process. So
For sure.
the photo shoot happens on one day, and a whole nother day they do the freestyle.
So he was suspiciously absent from the freestyle.
I mean, it's not suspicious. Like, if the shit
I'm
don't line
not
up, it don't line
even-
up.
yeah,
Let me
like-
tell you something. This man is touring, like, he's up to $60,000-$70,000 per show. I
Let's
don't
go,
really give
baby.
a fuck about a freestyle if I
Exactly.
am going across the water, cross country, and
never doing
picking
it.
up 60,000-70,000 bags per show. I am walking in the Virgil fashion shows in
sure.
Italy. So, like, I really don't really care about, like, this is small playing field. I'm gonna be honest. If the baby's my artist, I wouldn't let him do it either.
But he did, and he
Yeah.
and he
He
killed
can
it.
rap, though.
He did.
Like, he raps
but
differently.
I
But
probably would have been like,
if I'm
you
gonna,
already.
I'm not freestyling for Flex, LA Leakers, Sway.
Nah, hell nah.
I'm not freestyling
You
for
passed that.
anybody.
Guys, y'all are shooting him a whole lot of bail. He's not
Yeah.
freestyling because he can't. Let's be honest.
And
None
he
of-
ain't
none
gotta
of them
be
are
able to,
freestyling.
though. He don't
Everything's
have to be
written.
able to. That ain't what he do.
Well, no, okay. But, obviously, clearly none of that is freestyling. But I'm saying in terms of, because like I was saying, there have been several people whose their brand is not. I'm finna bore you up and bore. Nigga, Future was on the cover and he did his freestyle cipher.
It was 13 years ago.
Roddy Rich was on this cover and he did his cipher and he bodied
has
it.
to. He not big as Gunna is.
What?
Gunna has a name like
no.
If it's contingent upon I can go left or right in my career by doing this freestyle, I'm not doing it. I'm never doing it. I don't freestyle. I rap. Vince Staples said this. Like, you guys are not. I don't do nothing for free. I'm a paid artist. Like she said, I'm getting 70 a show. No, I'm not doing anything for you niggas.
You want me to come here for free?
Yeah, like, nah, we can talk. We can talk. Yeah, I can take pictures. We can do all of that. But if there's any type of way that this can be used against me and I'm not subject to this, I'm out of it. Nah, no.
It don't build his brand.
Again, why take the cover?
Because you want people still to see you, though.
What?
Like,
you want people to hear you and see you.
His whole thing is about fashion, though. He's high fashion. He dressed well. So of
Does
course
he?
I'm gonna. In their generation,
That's
of course
objective.
I'm gonna go take pictures, though. Like, I want people to see me. I also want people to recognize that I'm a part of this new school movement too. But I don't necessarily got to do everything that they doing. I'm not subject to that.
I see both sides. As a fan of rap, you definitely want to see artists step up to the plate and show us their skills. Shout out to Freddie Gibbs. He murdered his LA Lakers freestyle last week.
When he was holding his son?
Killed it.
Yeah, he bodied that shit.
Niggas
No one cared.
Yeah,
either.
yes, they do.
Not one more person
Real
when they listen to
fans.
Freddie Gibbs' album.
But we're talking about it from different perspectives, though. We're talking about different perspectives. Like,
No,
if
we're
you're-
just talking about rap. You just said rap in general.
it's different perspectives, because if you're a popcorn fan and that's what you like, if I'm really dedicated to the craft dedicated to my craft, I'm gonna get in and spit
Then I ain't
a
listening
freestyle.
to Gunna, no way.
But you're not. But he used to write little baby raps. So
That's what I'm saying.
Your man.
If I have all of these things back behind me, I'm writing raps for niggas. These niggas got #1 hits. I'm not coming in here and doing nothing for free.
Then don't do the cover.
Yes,
that's all
I
I'm
am.
saying.
I want you to see me though. Like, there's two different
whack.
things
No,
besides me coming up here, and what a freestyle is, in my opinion, is you showcasing your craft. Gunna necessarily is better with his pen as opposed to thinking off the dome. So
That's
I'm not
true.
gonna come
Well, they're
up
not
here.
thinking of they're not literally freestyling though.
I know that, but I still ain't right. I ain't even writing 16. I
he
ain't
can't.
doing none of
It's
that.
'cause he can, it
I'm
would've
taking
been
these
trash.
pictures
Yeah.
and I'm leaving.
He would have
That's
sounded
it.
like Mosey. He'd have been good. He could have been trash, and everybody would have still been joking on Lil Mosey because he
That's true.
stunk it up.
was
While
awful.
Megan and the baby completely snapped.
Yeah, Megan and the baby killed it.
And he was sitting there in the background like, damn, they rapping for real. Fuck. I ain't know they.
Lil Moses took a big L with that.
He took a huge L. Like I'm just saying, just don't do the cover if you're not gonna commit to the whole thing. That's all I'm saying. Because I would have been interested to see how he flipped it. Designer flipped his shit.
Yeah, he
Future
did.
flipped his shit. Roddy Rich flipped his. Like,
Yeah, if Roddy Rich can do it, Gunna could have got it.
that's what I'm saying. It just
No comparison.
I ain't
yeah,
know.
No
y'all.
yeah.
comparison.
Roddy Rich is way better.
No comparison. People don't know Roddy Rich outside of
LA.
Georgia, LA, and New York.
That's
Industry
true.
people.
Yeah, you-
Only industry people know Roddy Rich. They know his one song. He got a few more songs to go before people.
No, I
know who
get that
he is.
part. I get that part.
Meanwhile, Gunna is being booked for. Gunna is being booked for 1,000 seaters, or like he's doing festivals. So there's again,
Yeah,
like you
Gunna's
got to
huge.
think
He's
from
huge.
a brand perspective. I understand like
From a fan.
ethically,
Right.
like what you say, like don't do this if you can't do that. But also, it diminishes my brand if I decide to do something that doesn't adhere to the level that I'm on in terms of my performance brand. Like I'm doing these.
So you're thinking that if he would have done it, it would have been subpar. Because that's not his
but
thing.
It's just like him amongst everybody else. Why is he there? He's
That's a whole nother
surpassed that.
question.
He's past that for the past year and a half. He did Coachella 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2
that's
years
fair.
ago. So for the past 2 years, meanwhile, all of these people that's on that freestyle, the baby just now getting his just do this year.
for sure.
Megan just came out of nowhere a few months ago. So
sure.
they need that look. Gunna been doing this for a few years.
That's
So I
facts.
just feel like I don't really need that. Like I'm gonna be fair and present myself with my class of people, I guess if that's what they're calling it.
Right.
I'll do that, but come on now.
Yeah, he was a big, yeah.
Come on now. We
From
ain't
that
gotta do all-
aspect, like that's what I said, I see both sides.
Yeah.
I want to see him get up there and stink it up, though, just to prove what I've been saying this whole time. He's some slaw.
No, Gunna
Now-
makes good
The
music.
nigga did wireless.
Yeah,
festival,
he
like-
make good music. You just hating.
Nah, I just don't like the music.
Okay, we'll just say that.
That's fair. All right, let's get to this
like-
music break, man. We you got 2 songs for us. What's the first joint that you are gonna play? Kirsten is here. We've got company, so it better be good.
Yeah, the first artist we're gonna
it's not
play
gonna
is
be.
he's first artist we're gonna play is HDBeenDope. He has a real nice song by the name of Cayman. Let's hear that. Let it ride out.
Let's go. That was HDBeenDope with Cayman. How you feel about that, sir?
That was good. I like that. Not mad at it at all. Cool a bop, as you guys would say.
Yeah, no, I like that too. It was good energy on the record. Short song though. I'm seeing that that's kind of the wave now. Have you peeped that? Like 2-minute songs. Y'all can thank
Yeah.
Lil Pump for that.
You can thank what's that girl?
Lil
Summer
Pump.
Walker.
Summer Walker. Yeah,
Lil Pump was before her. though.
That's what I'm saying.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
Shortest
Those are
song
One
on
song though.
Billboard.
She has a collection of 1 minute and 59-second songs.
She's R&B though, right?
Yes, that's a fact.
Okay.
She's a part of the music business, urban
Did,
music.
did we just play R&B or did we play a rap song? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's all related.
Yeah, it's all related, hand in hand.
All right, we are back. Now let's get to some business. You heard Kirsten in the first half, dropping gems on us, letting us know that industry plants exist. Shout out to that. Now
Shout
we are
out,
here.
Russ.
Let's get into more detail about your role in this entertainment game. You work with an agency, correct?
Yes.
What is
I
your
work with an agency, and I also do consulting work without.
Okay. And the agency houses artists that you manage. Can you name drop a few for us?
Yeah. So one, his name is Lynn Strip Chip. He's signed to Def Jam Records, and he has a project coming out on August 16th. We have another artist by the name of Kaluminati. She's signed to Atlantic Records. She's 19. She kind of rose from Instagram. So the kids love her on Instagram. Another artist we have is Davion. Davion is brand new, although she found her way onto the Dreamville compilation.
I was about to say her name sounds like it looks familiar.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
Sounds like it looks
she
familiar.
she found her way on it, and we're about to release our first single on her. So she and they're about to release a video for that song too. So
that's dope.
y'all will be hearing a lot from her.
Great voice.
Yeah.
And you got producers too, correct?
Yes, I have Earl on the beat, and I have another producer by the name of Don G. Did it.
Okay.
Don G.
Now we're gonna get into some specifics as to like kind of what your role is in regards to their career and whatnot. But how do we get from you're originally from here, right? Born and raised.
Born and raised.
ATL, yeah, because you be going in on the transplants. What's wrong with us transplants, huh?
I mean,
Huh? We come here and bring value. What's wrong with that?
So this is gonna have to be another segment, okay? Because I do have a brand, a lifestyle brand that's called ATL.
Talk about it.
And I make products for people that live in Atlanta. You don't necessarily have to be from Atlanta. So I don't have an issue with your transplants, but I do have an issue when you come here and start messing up shit and also talking about us.
I agree.
So
That's
I
trash.
think y'all need to find comfort in where you are now and embrace the city,
I can
and
respect
help
that.
us beautify it.
We bring value. We're transplants that bring value to the city.
Because if
Nobody
you don't
wanna
like
hear
where
you
I
talk
stay,
about where y'all from in our city. You need to
Right.
go back to where you from if you got that much pride for it.
That's funny.
That's
This
how I
is true.
feel.
and what CeeLo say? You don't like where I stay?
Fly away.
So tell us about your journey growing up in Atlanta. How did you get to the place where you're managing artists on Def Jam in Atlantic?
Oh, my journey started a while ago. 2007 to be exact. You guys want the long story or the short story?
We want the
The most entertaining one.
Okay, so I graduated from college. I moved back to Atlanta. I went to Savannah State University. Moved back to Atlanta. I was like, oh my God, I hate working all these little temp jobs. I'm temp here. I'm at the gas light company. I'm at the hospital. I'm temping everywhere. I'm like, okay, I got to figure out what I'm gonna do.
No doubt.
Then I decided to be a flight attendant. That happened. That happened for like 2 months. I hated it. Hated it. So I ended up reaching out to a family friend, my godfather's best friend. His name is Philip Johnson. Philip Johnson is father to Falant Johnson, who was killed in that Cincinnati accident with T.I. So I had a conversation with Phil, and before Falant passed, he told me that I would be able to come in and do an internship with him. So I called Philip and I said, hey, so Falant said that he was going to get me an internship, so now I need you to do that. I need you to call them and tell them I'm going to come and start working for him. It's like, I don't know if that's the best environment, blah, blah, blah. I ain't worried about it. I'm good. Like, we from the West Side. I can handle myself.
That's
Okay.
nice.
A few months later, I was there, and this was immediately after T.I. versus T.I.P. I think T.I. versus T.I.P. had just come out. So it was like 2000. It was like 2007.
And were you a little shaky about getting in at that time because that album?
Wasn't at all, because you got to remember, he was still one of the hottest artists in Atlanta. Big
No
Things
doubt.
Poppin'
The
was
man.
out. What You Know, like all of those songs, they had no signs of slowing down. He could still go to the club if he decided to on a Wednesday and pick up $100,000. So I wasn't worried about it at all. Matter of fact, that was the best time of my life in music because it was crazy. You know, the city was crazy. It was electrifying. So I started working with them then, and immediately I was an intern, but immediately I was thrown into him and Dro and Alpha Mega at the time and Duval. So I was working all these projects, and I'm like, okay, so this is fun. I really like it. I really like the, you know, what the chaos of everything, like bringing it all together. But when is the money going to increase?
I know that's right.
Because I did just get out of college. I have a college degree. So, you know, I should be getting more money. It's like, oh, yeah, no, that's not going to come no time soon. So I quit. I quit. Yeah, I left. I'm like, let me go get a real job, because that's what your parents tell you to do when you get out of college. Let me go get a real job with benefits. I did that for a few years. Hated it. Thought I was going to die. I was like, I cannot stay in this position. So I made a few other moves. I'm not going to talk about those. Ended up keeping in touch with Jason Jeter. Jason Jeter was who I worked under before I left. So I called Jason. Takers had just come out. And I remember like the first conversations about Takers. And I said, hey, I just saw the movie. Congratulations. It was great. Blah, blah, blah. He was like, oh, man, what you doing? What you got going on? I was like, oh, yeah, I moved to Florida. I'm working on this, blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right, cool. Well, you know, I need some help with some stuff. Can you help me? I'm like, yeah. Now, mind you, I had learned everything about his life. So I knew that was going to be my entry point back in. So I'm like, yeah, what you need? Shit he needed was easy. Cool. So I just hopped right in. So a few weeks later, I'm like, you know what? I don't really like being at this school in Florida. So you just move me back and I'll just, you know, work with you full time. It was aggressive. Like, yeah. Like, he was like, all right, cool. How much you want? We talked about it. Move me back.
When it was that in, huh?
Yeah.
When it was that?
Yeah. So I moved back in 3 months of being down in Florida for this program that I thought I wanted to be in. Came right back and was back into it. So when I came back in 2011, I was working more so on the clothing side with Strivers Row, Hustle Gang, and Aku. So I was working a lot with those brands and still doing a lot of things from a marketing perspective with Tip. Okay. Not day to day as I was before, but just marketing. What are the ideas, the projects coming out? Like, you know, so I started to become a liaison between our independent label and the major label.
Give me an example of something that you would do with an Aku or a Strivers Row as it relates to somebody's project. Are you trying to marry the two, or how, like what would like a day to day be when you were doing that working with Jeter?
Well, I still do that.
Okay.
I guess the most recent example of like marrying the two would be what I did I created an event for Super Bowl. It was a T.I. and Friends. Okay. We wanted to do ATL, but everybody wasn't available. So it was a T.I. and Friends sponsored by Aku. And basically, we just created an event that is true to whatever region you're working in, this one being Atlanta, and incorporate different parts of their brand into what we're doing now. So it's, you know, models with the newest collection on, or, you know, giving out some shirts or something like that. What you need to move? Okay. Yeah, so that's the way that at this point you would incorporate the two, you know, one project into another. So that was really cool for me because I got a chance to work with high level modeling agencies and top level photographers, and also figure out a way to, you know, create brand partnerships between T.I.'s project release and Aku, because while they are kind of the same, they are separate. So I enjoyed that, and over time I've just stuck with Jason. I'm still with him to this day.
Did you see that TV show, The Grand Hustle show?
Which one?
The one where there was like the
they were trying to. He was hiring an executive to work for.
No, I didn't.
Question. So going back to Savannah State, what prepared you or gave you the confidence to make that call to Phil's father to be like, hey, I want this internship? Like, what were you studying in school? What had put you in the path to make you think that, hey, I can do this in the music industry?
Pledging put me in that position. I pledged Delta Sigma Theta, and I think that after,
you know, because everybody can't call Phil daddy and be like, hey, I want a job at Grand Hustle. You know what I mean? So tell him how you got there.
Yeah, I mean, him and my stepfather are best friends. He is like, we lived in Dixie Hills together, which is on the west side. Hey. And he was at the house every day. I didn't feel like, oh, I don't really know him, I don't know what to say. It was like, we're family. So I need you to do this for me, because right now I don't know which direction I'm gonna take. And I've tried radio when I was an intern. I didn't like it. I tried television. I didn't like it. I really think that I could fit into this pocket. So because I was so adamant about doing it, he just was like, all right, cool, whatever, you know, just do what you're gonna do. And I know that hurt. It really kind of hurt him, honestly. I never talked about it with him. I know that had to hurt to like kind of put me back in a situation that took his son from him. Right. But to this day, like, I just give him so much praise, and I'm so appreciative of him for like jump-started my entire career. You know, like I'm still here freaking 12 years later because of that phone call. But from Savannah, I was a mass communications major. So
Gotcha.
I knew that I wanted to do something behind the scenes, entertainment-wise. I just couldn't figure out which industry.
Gotcha.
What's some of the best advice Jason has given you working with him?
2 things that he says all the time.
Uh-oh.
If the shit is bigger than the cat, get rid of the cat.
Elaborate.
He heard that from Joey Aie. So basically, if you're working with somebody and the shit that they give you, like if it's too much work
Gotcha.
and they're not even giving you a lot of, you're not even receiving any residuals or any income or anything from that person, but yet they're causing you all types of turmoil, get rid of that person because the shit is bigger. You know what I mean?
So an example would be Young Dro when she was at Grand Hustle.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I wasn't gonna say that, but the shit
That's what I'm here for.
is
That's what I
bigger
do.
than the cat when it comes to
Exactly.
him. And we continue to pour into Young Dro even up until recently because we know that he's talented, but it's like the shit is so much bigger. Another Jewel. What are you supposed to say?
Go ahead. Finish the jewels.
He's a Dro fan.
I am.
I love Dro with all my
Did you
heart.
work on the
First album
album?
was
Did you work
fire.
on that first album with him?
I worked on his second
First Thing
project.
Smoking? Okay. Whatever. Go ahead, the second one.
So the second gem that he always says is hurry up and fail. And that just sticks to me so much because I know we in our relationship have spent a lot of time just working and hoping that things will work. But at a certain point that like this probably isn't the best relationship or this isn't the best deal or I need to pivot and go in a different direction. So I always adhere to that because I have to like listen to those things that say, this ain't it, like this is not it. So he gives me gems on a regular basis and I'm blessed to be able to speak to him daily. But yeah, those are probably the 2 that I hear the most.
Those are good ones.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
For sure.
Who's your favorite artist you've worked with to date? To put you out there.
We don't want to make your other artists upset.
I think, of course, I love working with all my new artists, but I'll say T.I., honestly, because I worked with him the longest, and I worked with him when he was a superstar. Like, I remember preparing for that Blurred Lines video.
Wow.
It was
huge.
It was huge what we had to do, and they were willing to do it all. Oh, you guys need a private jet to come and pick you up? What time? Yeah, cool, sure.
That's what's up.
Like it was the red carpet was laid when I first came in. I mean, we would go to the club on a regular basis, and it's bottles everywhere, and it's hundreds of people that are coming in on VIP with him. So I just was exposed to the real industry, like the Jeezy era and the T.I. era and the 2 Chainz early, the Titty Boy area.
Absolutely.
That's when people really
Riding
went
around
up
and
in the city. Right. People really went up in the city for music. It wasn't digital. It's not just like I'm going to be a big fan in my house. They showed up for you.
Yeah.
And I miss that about the industry because you don't get a chance. I mean, that's why I like talking to you guys because I spend so much time talking to my partners and people and labels that we don't get a chance to a lot of times speak to consumers.
Absolutely.
Especially hip hop consumers. My friends don't give a fuck about the music business. Like I don't even know what they listen to. They're not familiar with anything that we're talking about. So I like the fact that I can speak to you guys because it's a different perspective, and music now is such so that you can enjoy it by yourself. And you never have to leave in order to, make an impact on, the artist. All you gotta do is show your support on Instagram.
That's true.
Like a couple
stream
pictures,
it.
yeah.
Right. You don't have to
Repost
you don't
it.
have to leave your couch to be a supporter. But to be in a position where, All-Star Weekend, if you seeing posters everywhere and there are reps vans and people are really having to think.
Street teams.
Yeah.
Street teams, like Scream Tour, like you're like really excited because there's so much energy around it. So I miss that, and I like that about Tip because he really did run the South at that time.
Yeah.
Ran it.
Oh, yeah.
Came.
And speaking of the kind of the marketing aspect, I was stalking your Instagram, and I saw when you had worked with Nick Grant. And you had like a promo joint, and it was the bar. It's like a candy bar.
Yeah.
That was dope. Kind of what was the thought process in that?
So we were sitting in the room, and I have a lot of corny ideas all the time. I just throw them out there. Sometimes they stick. Sometimes they're a little bit too much for the guys. But we were having a late night meeting at Jason's house, and his product manager, Latrice, shout out to Latrice, she was there. And, we were just kind of coming up with things. What are we going to do? I'm a person, because I love marketing, I'm gonna always want some posters. I'm gonna always want some T-shirts, some pens,
tangible stuff.
Yeah, I'm always gonna want some merch stuff,
Right.
Candles. I did so much shit for Nick, like overdid it. But yeah, like we had clouds for like phone holders. But I just love having things that you can take away because you can find a place in your house for them, and you'll always remember that project. You go to a lot of offices in New York, they have the shit that they received from projects from the 90s, and I just think that's so cool. I think that's so cool. So I mean, I was just thinking about things that would be really dope to do, and I threw it out there. They were like, yeah, that's dope. And there's a person on Latrice's team that we work really well together, and she figured out how to make that shit happen.
Yeah,
like,
just for clarity, it was candy bars, and the wrapping it was bars. Of course,
it was actually a Hershey's bar.
Oh, that's what's up.
And we rewrapped it. I designed the cover, and I picked the lines that I wanted to go on the back, because the back, they had 3 different bars that you can choose from. Yeah. So I designed the cover, I put the bars on the back, and it was an actual Hershey's bar.
That was dope. That gave me Puff vibes when he did the Big Mac joint.
Yeah. Creativity.
Yeah, because I'm such a fan of that that I've just felt like, all right, cool, maybe this is that moment, and I appreciate people recognizing that.
Now, you said you try to shoot these ideas to the guys, and they sometimes look at you like you're crazy. How is it? You work with a lot of dudes?
All dudes.
Okay, how is it being a female working with a lot of dudes? Is it sometimes?
Sometimes most times they get on my nerves, but they do know that when I'm on my vibe, like, they don't fuck with me. So if I'm coming up with ideas, they're like, all right, cool, let's figure out a way to make it work, or like, let's just let Katie do what Katie does, because I'm going to figure out a way to make it work as long as the money is available to us. Sure. So, and they don't usually see it for themselves. Men are not as creative as they think that they are. Mm-hmm. So in terms of, like, they can get in a booth and do the music, but that's where their mindset goes. And I'm like, yo, your wheelhouse is farther than just this fucking studio. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, now it's your job to get this music that you created in the studio out in the world. What is your plan to do that? I'm gonna need you to think beyond just the mic. I'm gonna help you, but I can't do it for you. Like, we got to do it together. So creating things that will allow people to remember them by creating just kind of getting them familiar with what real marketing is, because again, most marketing now is digital. So they're going to need to know what real marketing is. And we're going to always have something that you can see or touch, or like the last event that we did for Chip, we had a coloring station. Like, we printed out different things that are synonymous with his album, and you did a coloring book station and you framed it. So I'm just a fan of that. Yeah. Like, how can we be interactive, and how can we draw people into the project a little bit more intimately? Speaking of Chip, how did you get linked up with the agency and become kind of in the management space? So the agency, it consists of, we're all friends. Mark is also our friend, but it's myself, Pat Afeku, who I've known since I worked at Lucky Lounge every Wednesday 10 years ago. He was a promoter. Paul, who we've been friends with for a long time. He was working with Chip first. Well, he had an artist named Joe Gifted. He actually worked with Gunna for a while, and he started working with Chip. And then there's our other brother, Pat Dixon, who's our legal counsel, and he's our partner as well. So this time last year, actually, I decided to stop working with Nick and separate ways from Culture Republic. And, I felt like it was time for me to do my own thing. So me and Pat got together and said, oh, well, I need help with Illuminati. Cool, I'll help you with her. It's no problem. So I became the liaison between her project and Atlantic. Mm-hmm. And from there, kind of seeing that Paul needed some help, because he also still has other things that he does. Seeing that he needed help with Chip, I came in to help with that, because my strong suits are marketing and admin. So that's like the full total of what what happens on a day-to-day, as opposed to what they do, which is go to the club at night. I don't do that. I don't go to the club. I don't really go to the studio. So we balance each other out. So that was what I could bring to Chip and his project at the time. And that's kind of how we all came together. Okay. And decided, like, okay, so we're going to get, what really happened too, I met Earl. Okay. And so Earl on the beat. Yeah. So we were like, oh shit, if we're going to do this, we need to make a company. And so that's how it all came together, because we had the demand, we had the clients there, but we hadn't formed a real entity. Okay. Earl on the Beat got a big record out right now. Yeah, he does. He got a lot of big records coming out too. Uh-oh. He's got the City Girls, right, to Act Up? Uh-huh. That's a big ass record.
Yeah, it is. 100%. Yeah. What's your favorite part of creating a marketing plan?
favorite part of creating a marketing plan, I think I would say it's like the visualization. What I love most about the music industry is seeing a project go from nothing to everybody knowing about it. So I think in the marketing plan, just the goal of knowing that this is going to allow people to reach the product a little bit more. You know, this is going to draw people in a little bit more. We're creating a plan now for Chip's release in a few weeks. Like, okay, so we have this idea that we're working on. The idea is great, you know, so now we just have to put it together in a way that makes sense for him and a way that brings people into it as well. Like, we always want people to be drawn to what we're doing. So from a marketing perspective, you know, you have to be creative enough because nobody wants to do the same thing every time. No. You know, like, I'm not just going to, every time it's time to do something, oh, y'all come to the studio, get some peace and listen to the project. No, nobody want to do that. You know, we got to get creative. Shout out to Dutch and Crit, because what they did for Crit's release, I was so impressed by. I didn't attend. Yo, the Blue Flame Ballet, hard. Yeah. Hannah did that. Hannah, you know, she taught me everything I know. Hannah did that. Dutch and Crit, you know, like, that shit was flawless. Doing their the actual review at the planetarium, amazing. I'm such a fan of like creative stuff like that. So shout out to them because they did it in a way that everybody don't do it.
Detailed.
So what y'all doing for Chip, then?
A few things. We'll invite you.
We'll invite you. It comes out the day after my birthday too, man. On the 16th.
Yeah. What is it that you need to see in an artist where you want to work with them? Where you say, you know what, like when Chip comes to you or when Earl comes to you, and you say, like, you know what, I will work with them, as opposed to someone else that comes and you're like, nah.
I'm a sucker. Because really, I need to like you.
Okay.
You know, that's
personal relationship plays a big part.
Yeah, I need to like you. You know, nowadays, truth be told, everybody ain't that talented.
That's the fact.
You know, it just depends on what can pick up. You can make somebody that's not talented at all pick up and go far. I don't know if y'all fans of Blueface, but
absolutely not.
Yeah, but you know,
I was at one point, but not anymore.
You know, he was up, so he's not talented. It's like, do I?
Nah, you're not.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but you know, he's not as talented as other people.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But you know, I need to like you, and I need to know that you are coachable. Those are my two requirements. Can I like you? Are you coachable? Because I am like the mother of the whole crew. And so if something is happening, I'm going to have to pull your coattail and say, you're going to have to get this shit together. This is not how we can operate. And I need to know that you're going to concede to what I'm saying. Because if not, what are we doing? Why am I working with you if you can't do what, you know, your counsel is asking you to do? We ain't work, so we're not working together. We're working alongside of each other. We got to be in this together if we're gonna get to the goal. You can have one thing that you're good at, which is being in the studio. Everything else I'm good at. I'm not in the studio trying to tell you what to do.
Right.
So when it's time for me to do what I'm doing, don't tell me what to do. I just need you to listen. Like so yeah, those are the two things, and of course talent. You know, I want to like your music.
I was just about to ask you that. Do you even? Is music even play a part? Because sometimes you can not like something and it be the hottest shit in the world.
Yo, I'm having an issue with that right now.
See?
Somebody wants me to work with them, and I think he's cool. I think it's cool, you know, but I don't know.
Yeah. Have we heard of him? Okay.
He could go too. Like he's gotten cosigns from a lot of people already, and nobody knows him. But you know, I like to manage my bandwidth in what I'm spending my time working on, because it is every day you think about this person more than you think about yourself. That is the thing about being a manager. I have to put them before me every single time. Every time.
What traits make a good manager? If for people listening out here that think they might can do that.
What traits? I mean, I think you have to definitely be a leader. You have to be a leader, and you have to know how to communicate. Two important things. And they are two different things too. Being a leader, knowing how to communicate, and knowing how to be a self-starter. Because in the beginning, more than likely, you're not going to have the resources that you would like to have. You know, you got to get your artist to a place to where you can go in a building and say, hey, I've done all these things. I need y'all to give them a check now. But you got to be able to do all those things first. You can't wait on somebody to tell you what to do.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn. All right.
Those some jewels right there. Y'all pick those up.
Where do you see the creative agency going 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What's the end game?
Everybody needs to be on tour
at the same damn time.
Yeah, I mean, we already in a position where we're having to like divide ourselves to manage what they're doing, which is kind of cool. But yeah, they all need to have their ass on the road doing something. Because if not, we ain't doing the right thing. The goal in every artist is always touring. Yeah. If you a touring artist,
that's
like
where the bag is at.
That's where the bag is at. People don't really talk about Currency a lot, but the fact that Currency stays on tour, he is successful.
Killing it too.
Very.
He's successful, and ideally, like that's what you want to get to, a place where someone can always be working.
Yeah, nice. Shout out to Currency. Come to the show.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to Currency. Who do you look up to in terms of like role models? Is there anyone that on the executive tip, behind the scenes tip, that you looked up to is like, man, I model my shit after them?
Oh, so many people. But one particularly, her name is Latrice. I said that she was Nick's product manager, so I worked hand in hand with her for the past 3 years doing everything. And what I admired about her is she, much like me, we were putting our hands in the mud. Like we were getting down and dirty, getting cussed out. Like we did whatever we had to do to get shit done. You know, if she had to defy her superiors to do it because she know that it needed to be done, cool. If I had to pull money out of my pocket to do it, or like, you know, kind of go in front of the partners that I worked with at the time to get it done, like we were just all, you know, hands in. And now she has gone on to be the vice president and general manager at Island Records, which is big. Yeah, it's super big. And I just admire her because when I look at her, I'm like, okay, I can't take a break, because she doesn't take a break. People from New York typically are just always go. Yeah, but I be wanting breaks.
I be wanting breaks.
I be wanting breaks.
Shout out to Queens.
No, that's right.
You from New York?
No, it's not.
I am. Queens Village, specific.
We have a lot of independent artists that listen to our show as well. Can you tell them maybe what they should look for in a manager? So what should be?
They got a lot of cousin managers.
Yeah, they got a lot of
managers.
You get a lot of like. And what made me think of this is I'm looking at the Wu-Tang doc, and he's like, man, if I get a deal for $1 million, I want my whole $1 million. And some people have to be explained to that it doesn't work that way. So what traits should they look for?
But you won't.
You ain't gonna have management long, right? Exactly.
It can't work like that. You just gonna be out here doing everything by yourself.
Solo and get mine.
Traits in a manager. Yeah. Let's see. Do I have the ability to communicate? I think now, again, where everything is very digital, I gotta be on it. I gotta see my emails when they're coming. I gotta see my texts. I gotta be responsive to them. I gotta know what to say, how to say it, you know, because my whole job is about building contacts that's going to allow me to further my artist career, you know? So I'm trying to consistently meet the right people that's going to put me in the right position. I got to get to this person. I got to get to a Carl Cherry or a Tuma or whoever, you know, because I need to get this in front of him in order for my, in order for my project to go to grow. Yeah. So I think in looking for a manager, it's easy to get a cousin, and I know that's what a lot of the kids do. They get family members. But how is your family member, because it's just y'all two, is your family member going to go and find a camera and pick up a camera and record you when you ain't looking to document your process? Is your family member going to give you a ride to the studio when you don't have no car? Is your family member going to go get you some posters and goddamn pass them out, pass them out? Because if I see somebody on my team and they sitting in the concert looking at the concert, I'm like, yo, it's shit that had to be done here. Like it's things that have to be done, and you talking to them about, who the artist is and how to find his socials. Did you make sure that their albums were downloaded on their phones? Did you go check out the merch table? So just somebody, I admire the young people that have a person around them that is able to just fit in any pocket. They say the manager should be someone who is like most passionate about you and like really supports you. And I think if that's that person, then they're going to always go 110% to make sure you get what you have to do. And even if they're not very knowledgeable, they're going to be committed to understanding and learning what to be in order to support you. So to answer your question, I know it was a long answer, but someone who can communicate properly, who does not have any problem with going out and meeting new people for the betterment of the two of your careers. Because again, if you're a manager, you make your money from what they do. So you're going to have to not be afraid to go out and meet new people. And again, someone that's willing to play all roles. I am a stylist. I'm a hairstylist. I can do makeup. I'm a manager. Like, I'm everything you need me to. I'm pick you up. I'm going to drop you off. I'm going to go get your food.
Uber Eats.
Yeah, I'm all of those things. Yeah. So it's never going to be a time where, my artists don't have what they need, because I'm going to make sure that they're taken care of.
I know that's right. Kirsten, for the people listening, can you please provide your Instagram so they can flood your DMs with artists and beats and all kinds of shit like that?
I'm not on Instagram right now.
Okay. All right.
I'm Hey Kirsten, HeyKirsten. My app is deleted right now, so I don't know. You may be able to send a DM, but
okay.
Let me tell you something. For anybody who sends a DM about their music, if you don't send me a complete sentence,
Oh yes.
and tell me what you want,
So grammar
Yeah, we get
is
that.
important.
I mean, all day, flood.
We
Like,
get that all
listen
day.
to my music. Like, if you don't know how to pitch your music,
Gotcha.
go figure it out. I'm not listening to that. Or you just send a link.
That's it. So you want some type of formal greeting as if, like, I'm a human being, talk to me like I'm a
Okay,
person.
so
Well, structured,
what I'm gonna take from a person that actually composes a real message is that this person is at least trying to reach me the right way. They probably have a little bit of intelligence because they know how to approach a person. This is a business transaction. We not friends. How would you approach another business transaction?
Right.
So because of that, I'm more inclined to listen to a good constructed email than I am a link. I'm not clicking on no links.
Fair enough. Y'all heard it, man. Don't be sending no blind ass links to DM people. Kirsten, we appreciate it. Now, we're going to play another music break, but you're not going nowhere. We got one more thing to talk about, all right, before we get out of here. Mxtra, what's the music joint?
Yes, second song of the evening. It is Magic by Lil Skies. Check it out.
That's my guy right here. Let's hear it. Yeah. We are back. That was Lil Skies with Magic. How you feel about that, sir?
Lil Skies is always going to be a no for me.
Oh, wow. That's a dope
I'm
record.
100% tell y'all that right now.
Man, Lil Skies, out of all of the young face tat auto-tune rappers out there, Lil Skies is probably one of my favorite. I fuck with him and Uzi. They hard.
What you think about this record?
This record was tough. Chief Keef. Oh my lord. Ain't no way.
Chief Keef better than Lil Skies.
Finito.
Yeah,
That's
but,
a
I mean,
slap.
when the last time we heard of? I mean, that Zaytoven project was decent. From
Chief Keef is some
yeah.
slaw.
Just came out Friday.
Yeah, he just had a new album to drop.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
better.
None of us listened to
it.
it.
was better than Magic.
No, it
Nah,
wasn't.
I like the Magic record, man. Shout out to J. Ho for the layup on that one.
Ah,
For the
no
assist on
wonder.
that
Here
one.
we go.
No, here we go.
I see you, boy.
Yeah, that
That's
was
a
a good
good
one.
record.
Shout
I
out
like
my
the
guy
record.
Ho, man. He usually give me better music than this, though.
Lil Skies' album Shelby was actually pretty solid, though. You probably need to check that out. Give it a real listen.
I absolutely will not.
But the HDBeenDope song is better than that, though. That's a fact.
That's fair. We're glad you found your little weak song, dude. Look, you
Glad.
found a little HDBeenDope guy. We're
Yeah.
proud of you, sir.
We can run back the tape and see the weeks all the people I found.
Shit.
Shout out to Rod Wave, too. He brought out the project.
Let's get to this question of the week, man, before we get out of here. I'm sure all of you saw Tyler, the Creator's freestyle on Funkmaster Flex. He dropped some very interesting bars involving gay activity and even brought Flex into it. All with the serious as a heart attack face while he was doing it. This isn't the first time he's insinuated of being gay. The question to you, sir, is he trolling for clicks? And if he is it a genius move?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I can't tell with Tyler, so I guess that's the ultimate troll. If you can't tell if he's serious or not. I mean, he can rap well. I feel like that he makes his base off of being weird, hence Odd Future. So this is surprising for me to hear him say this. It's funny to watch Flex's reaction while he's freestyling, talking about hot butt sex to him and looking through his phone. But I mean, Tyler is like this is 1,000,000% what I expect from Tyler, the Creator. Always, all the time. He has a great album with Igor, but like stuff like this overshadows it because even if he is serious, if he ain't serious, it really doesn't matter. But people tend to talk about antics more than they talk about music, and he got a really critically acclaimed album. But people still talk about shit like this as opposed to the album.
No, I think this adds to that album. The album was number one.
Album is fire.
As we know from DJ Khaled's Snapchat. It was number one. So people are talking about the album. I think it just kind of adds fuel to it. Whether he's trolling or not, it ain't no telling. I guess that's kind of part of what makes it interesting. It's kind of the mystery behind that. This reminds me, and I forgot where I saw this from because I want to give credit because this is not my take, but it reminds me when people were talking about the Illuminati, and people wouldn't say they weren't in it, but they would play into it by having images in their video and shit. It's kind of the same. I'm gonna be mysterious and not say that it's true, but I'm gonna play along with it on this side. This is giving me that. So he's just doing that because there's more mystery when you don't know. Once you know, once Lil Nas X actually says it and confirms it, it's no longer a thing anymore, and it's just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, so maybe I'm speaking out of the loop here.
Yeah,
But do people care if he's gay? Like,
No.
is it a
No,
thing?
that's news. That's news when a celebrity comes out of the closet. That's still news. So care? I don't know. Will it make news? Yes,
Yeah,
I don't think.
because he has the number one album in the country. Oh, wait, at the time.
I just thought it was a
that's
common knowledge that he was gay. I didn't-
See, I don't think
I
he's
don't know.
gay, but
See, that's what I'm saying.
You know, everyone now, this new generation is very
the
fluid.
lines are blurred.
I mean,
The lines
it's
are very
fluidity.
blurred.
That's kind of what they're calling everything. So
Fluidity.
fluidity meaning that they're never gonna give it a definition.
Oh, of course.
They're never gonna say I'm this or I'm that because they don't believe in that. They feel like everybody can be everything.
And I'm
So
I
you know,
feel-
we'll never get an answer. It's like, what's the boy
Janelle Monáe,
name?
really?
What's Will Smith's
Jaden?
son? Jaden.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, Jaden be trolling, saying
Exactly.
whatever.
Young
you know,
Thug.
Young Thug
Troll.
does
I'm
this.
smoking dicks.
Yeah,
Calling my homeboys bae.
I got an AK under this dress.
yeah.
But he's never came out and said anything. But he, on the other
all
hand,
that
he
is
said
light compared to hot butt sex.
All
I
that
just
is
wanna
light.
say- that is
Granted, you're right.
That is
But that, I mean,
It's
that
true.
could have just been a shot.
See, I feel like
That
it's.
could've been
I feel like,
slang.
and Andrew Schultz says this a lot. He's a comedian. I feel like this is white boy humor, and he's bringing it over to hip hop, and it's
That
kind of
is,
new.
yeah.
That's fair.
This is kind of like white boyish humor, like
they joke and
yeah,
shit.
this
Nah, that's
is
a
that,
fact.
like hitting each other in the balls and shit like it. Like this is that
That's
to
a
me.
So my only rebuttal to that is I don't know if we're gonna take this over to the TV segment that I'm creating right now, but I don't know if you guys saw the Gerard Carmichael specials.
Oh,
He came
yeah.
out to
Sermon
his
on the
mom.
Mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but he was not like I'm this or I'm that. He's just like I participated. You know,
Right.
I've done this, and you know,
His mom
Ty-
said, "Well, I like me."
yeah.
That was funny.
She was like, I ain't rolling. But, you know, they are very close, Tyler and Gerard.
True.
You know, so I just
Relationship?
See-
No, I'm just
No,
joking.
no.
What are you into? Hey.
So I just
that who he was
kind of
with?
feel like they're all just free spirits and we'll never 100% know.
He was tap dancing on Breakfast Club too.
Well, Gerard admitted it. though.
Gerard said it on Breakfast Club.
But they had to. Charlemagne was pressing him though. Like
But he admitted it though.
no, but he did in that whole. But people saw that the HBO special and still didn't really quite know.
a lot of people didn't catch it.
Yeah.
A lot of people
And
didn't
a lot of
catch
people
it.
didn't catch it.
That is
He
kind of
said
his
it so
humor.
smooth.
They like dry humor.
Yeah,
that he
yeah,
has,
that
so
white
they
boy
don't know.
humor.
Yeah,
He got
exactly.
that.
There you
He
go.
got that.
But he
So-
said as much without. Well, he pretty much on Charlemagne interview. He pretty much said, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, he did. He finally, when he was backed into a little bit of a corner. But so normally we would do the On Decker of the Week. This week, it's Kirsten for showing up. KD, shout out to our guests, very special guests. Thank you for
Thank
dropping
you.
gems on the inside and kind of behind the scenes.
We appreciate
of what it's
you.
like in this entertainment world.
Yeah, man. Especially straight out of the west side of Atlanta. You know, I had to get you on here
We
first.
had to
you
get
know
a
what
real
I'm talking about?
AT alien in here.
I'm as real as it
Mxtra
gets.
get kind of sketchy. We had to get a real AT alien in
Well, this
here,
interview
man.
is credit to Mxtra. So I guess it's true.
What new music do we have out, and what can we look forward to this weekend, sir?
It's like this week. Only thing that got. Well, let me start with last week first.
E40.
So
Oh my God.
Practice makes paper, guys.
last week we.
I can't believe you just now on E40. That's what I can't believe. This nigga
Yeah.
been doing this for 20
Yeah, for real,
years,
man.
dude.
Of course, we talked about Chance, the big day.
We didn't want to talk about that golden roses. That's what we didn't want to talk about. And this rose delay. But go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Delays.
So your segment.
I just want to throw. I always like to throw the
got the
Aubrey
single,
shade
that's
in
all.
here. Yeah, the single.
no,
When
that's
we're
a
waiting
fire-
on this album
fire
for like
song.
2 months now.
We're
dropping
going to get to
singles.
that. But last week we talked about Chance, the big day. YBN Corday, my personal favorite from the week. The Lost Boy. E40, Practice Makes Paper, had a few bops on there for sure. And Young Dolph and Key Glock with Dumb
I like
and
Key
Dumber. The Search, I heard a lot about this project on the low by NF. I'm not sure who that is, but I'm definitely going to check it out. Comethazine with Bosky 3.5. Chief Keef, The Leak, Volume 8.
You ain't giving the listeners nothing to ride to. This
Filthy
weekend.
Rich, Big 5'9", number 2, Spice 1, and Fora, Bury Me with Dead Roses. I'm gonna check that out.
It's quiet.
A lot of people drop singles. The biggest one, Rick Ross and Drake, mentioned by Spike Lee earlier.
Fire.
Dope record. Big Sean hit us with another record. Single again. Big Sean is batting 2 for 2 right
That's
now.
gonna go right there. I like that song.
So yeah.
You don't like that? Hold on, Kirsten. You not feeling the Big Sean record? Not your stilo.
Like it just didn't do anything for me. I like the type of music that I like from Big Sean is gonna get you ready. You getting ready for it to go out.
Gotcha.
Oh, you don't like the personal Big Sean?
I just felt like, guys, what's the story? We knew y'all were together. Now you want to talk about being single again, and then she's on the record. Like, come on now, give us a storyline.
Dope that she was on the record.
No, it's not dope because y'all gonna continue to be depressed in public because you haven't separated your relationship.
Not a depressed record though.
It is.
Well, he is talking about mental health. It is
It
a
is.
little bit of a downer.
It doesn't sound depressed.
It's a downer.
It's a little bit of a downer.
Yeah.
I didn't get that from the record at all.
He
You may be
sounds-
already.
And
down.
y'all didn't read his quote about it either.
No, I didn't. I did see it, but I didn't read it.
Yeah, he just said he was allergic to everything and realized that's why he had been depressed and
That's not
He was allergic.
not that one.
he had
Come
been
on,
he had
Big
been eating a
Sean.
lot of kale and almond milk and determined that he was allergic to it.
That is not the quote I'm talking
What
about.
the fuck?
No, that's not.
Big Sean, I don't want to hear about the kale and the almond milk on this album.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? That's my nigga.
my
but-
point
No,
is
that's not.
Well, it was on Twitter.
Yeah.
But my point is this ain't what we usually want from Big Sean.
I
We
like
can agree to that.
Agreed.
I like the song though.
Again, he's batting
Ass,
too.
ass. That's what we want.
That's what.
No, this is not what I want.
Oh, that record with Chris Brown.
That was a hit. Smash.
That was a smash.
Banger.
No doubt.
And if y'all don't talk about Chris Brown and that goddamn Drake,
Song of the summer.
you better say something about
Yeah,
that.
we've been mentioned.
Believe that.
The Beige Gang. Chris Brown doesn't. Let me not start on that. But the Overtime record I love by Big Sean. Cash Doll has a new single out. Here I Go. I wasn't a fan. Shout out to Future and Lil Key, Undefeated. The FBG project coming soon.
You're not gonna name every damn song. That's
Not
on
just the
top of it,
highlights.
though.
Just
Okay,
highlights.
go ahead.
And Hit Boy and Sweetie came out with Noel's.
None of those were highlights.
No.
Yeah, you don't like any of those?
None of
No.
them.
All right. So the only thing we got coming up this week is Lil Durk coming up with Love Songs for the Streets Part 2. That's all we got. It's quiet out here. Shout out Lil Durk, whole Chi-Town.
Yeah, shout out to Chi-Town though. Can you hit that though? Shout out to Chi-Town. Shout out to Big Stace, by the way. Now, before we get out of here, what do you have on deck for the weekend, sir?
Slow motion this weekend, man. I'm waiting for football. We're close. What you got?
This weekend to wait?
Yeah, you got a little bit.
Got
of
a long time to go.
Speaking of football, shout out to that Madden. I think I'm gonna fuck with it. I told myself I wasn't gonna cop, but I think I am, and I'm probably gonna play it 3 times for the rest of this year. And I already know that, and they still gonna get my 60.
Money on it. And come over put money
You
on
don't,
the
want,
game.
you don't want that. I can go the whole year without playing and play that shit and still beat you. I
All right,
guarantee
20 a game then. Let's do it.
you. 20 a quarter. Bro.
Oh,
What
let's
you
do it.
talking
Let's do it.
about? What you got on deck, sir?
I have company in town this weekend, so I'm going to be
Out of
chilling,
commission.
out, hanging out, showing the city.
Kirsten, what do you have on deck this
I
weekend?
gotta look at my calendar.
I know that's right.
Yeah, she's booked and busy.
She gotta check her Palm Pilot.
I'm probably working. I hope not, though. I hope not.
This nigga said Palm Pilot.
Yeah, I mean, I have work things to do all the time, but right now, slow motion. I don't know what's going on. I really like to stay home on the weekends.
I know that's right.
Yeah, I like to stay in the house.
Apparently, Lou agrees with you. He said, I know that's right.
I'm trying to understand why that was hysterical.
Sound like an old man. I know that's right.
I am an old man. Like,
And I go out on the weekends.
Yeah.
Shit.
I can dig it, man.
Oh,
Hey,
we got to
guys.
get a drink, Kirsten. Right around the corner. We talked about that.
Yeah. I'm always down for that.
Yeah.
Don't
Saturday.
ask me to do nothing with a lot of people and high social value.
No. Saturday, we'll get drinks then. Saturday evening. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
you
like
agree.
drinks. Fuck, that's cool, bro.
Oh,
I'm
do
at-
you?
I'm at the crib. Don't worry about it. I'm at
So he's at the crib playing Madden.
Yeah, don't worry
I
about
like
it.
midweek drinks.
My company doesn't leave until 3 on Saturday, so we got to be after that.
We'll let y'all get that together.
Right. Your schedule.
But no, we appreciate everybody listening as always. And Kirsten, of course, we appreciate you pulling
For sure.
up.
Appreciate
You have
you.
an open
Appreciate it.
invite. Absolutely.
Thank you for
I
coming.
appreciate you guys. I really enjoyed the dialogue today.
Thank you.
You
Thank you.
guys
Much
taught
success.
me some things. Like you taught me that maybe I shouldn't just keep swiping past E40. You
There
know,
you
maybe
go.
I should just
Give it
press
a run.
play.
And you did.
I hope it ain't what you took. I really hope that ain't
I
it.
said I did.
You taught us some things as well. We really appreciate it. You know, I love you.
Absolutely.
Great fan,
Yeah. The next time is just a little tidbit because I heard you guys talking about clearance one time on
Okay.
here, and so whenever I come back, we're gonna talk about clearances.
Lou must have said
Samples.
something wrong then.
I don't know who it was. It was a while back.
It was one of you guys though. It wasn't me.
Usually it's the two that reacted to it.
I don't know which one, but we could talk about that process and how it works.
Yeah.
We'll have to do that on part 2.
Friend of the show.
Absolutely, man. Hey, y'all do us a favor. Go to iTunes, rate, subscribe, and comment. And, of course, Facebook for the rap chat. Join the conversation. That's where we take the conversation off of the mic. All right? We'll see y'all next week.
Support the real tweets.
You.